now that they've seen Roger Clemens twice in the order, these are the three guys that I think have the best chance of handling this fastball: Dave Henderson, Jose Canseco, and Dave Parker.
Yesterday, it was dreary, dark, and damp in Boston's historic Fenway Park as Bruce Hurst took the mound. He was locked up in a cold-hearted pitching duel with the man the A's call Smoke, Dave Stewart. Oakland used superb defense. And power. The power being ignited by their superstar slugger, Jose Canseco, who set the stage early with his first October blast. The A's' Dennis Eckersley closed things out on this Wade Boggs strikeout, and the celebration began in the Oakland dugout. The Red Sox know they must win tonight as they look to their super pitcher Roger the Rocket Clemens to even the series up, as it's Game 2 of the American League Championship Series. Live from Fenway Park in Boston, it's Game 2 of the American League Championship Series. It's the Oakland A's and the Boston Red Sox. A frosty night here in Boston. Temperature 42 degrees, the wind chill at 34 degrees. Hi, everybody. I'm Gary Bender. The Red Sox find themselves down 1 game and facing the prospect of being 2 games back when they head west to go to Oakland, and they realize the fact they didn't win a game in the Coliseum this year, losing in all 6 tries. So that's pressure. And they're putting the pressure squarely on the shoulders of Cy Young Award winner Roger Clemens. He'll go against 16-game winner Storm Davis. And Joe Morgan, that's a lot of pressure to put on one guy in Roger Clemens.
Well, I think you're right, Gary. If I'm a Red Sox fan, I'm worried by some of the quotes I read in the newspaper from the Boston players today, such as Roger will lead us. Roger will rise to the occasion. I think it should be we will rise to the occasion. Yesterday, Bruce Hurst tried to lead them, but the other guys didn't make any contributions. It will have to be a team effort. Roger can lead them, but the other guys will have to contribute.
Also part of our broadcast team is Reggie Jackson. Reggie, the Red Sox lost 6 of their last 7 in the regular season. They batted 190. They hit 194 in their loss yesterday. Who's going to get this club started?
Gary, they have not scored runs the entire month of September. In the last 2 weeks, everyone knows that they've played very poorly. Jim Rice, Wade Boggs, Mike Greenwell, they have not been scoring runs. They've not been driving the ball like they need to. And here's a ball club who hit 283 over the entire season. Somebody needs to step forward and get some base hits.
We'll continue our pregame here from Beantown, Boston, as we'll have an interview with Wade Boggs, the American League batting champion. Also the skipper of the Oakland A's, Tony La Russa. Back with that in just a moment. Game 2 just about ready to go. Historic Fenway Park in Boston. The Oakland A's had quite a year. They won 104 games in the American League West. That is a record. They clinched the flag on September 19th. Their skipper is Tony La Russa. He's a lawyer, an outstanding manager, and Reggie Jackson spoke to him earlier.
Tony, you're pitching Storm Davis tonight. Why him over Bob Welsh?
Well, Bob is going to pitch Game 3 because he's had special success in the Coliseum, something like 12-3 with a low ERA. Storm has been good on the road and at home, so we figured he'd be a better match for Game 2.
You have a different lineup tonight. Do you tailor your ball club to a pitcher you're facing or a ballpark you're playing in?
Some of it. We're basically a right-hand hitting club against everybody, but I do play Louis Polonia in left field against right-hand starters. Very often I'll catch Ron Hassey against a right-hand starter. They're both in the lineup today. Tony Phillips is playing second base. And every once in a while, I'll switch positions in the lineup. If somebody's had special success, he hits a little higher, try to get him that extra at bat late in the game. The other guy that struggles will be a little lower. For example, Carney and Hassey hitting 5th and 6th. McGuire is going to hit 7th because he struggled here early in his career against Clemens.
Let's go to Joe Morgan with Wade Boggs.
Wade, it's not often I talk to a 5-time batting champion about failure, but yesterday you didn't have a typical Wade Boggs day. What happened?
Well, the thing about it is that I did something that Wade Boggs doesn't do very much of, and that's strike out, and that's what made the big news. But the big rap on Wade Boggs is that he never drives in any runs and these kinds of things. But statistics show that with men in scoring position, I'm hitting over 360, and with men on third with less than 2 outs, I've delivered 17 out of 24 times. So it was just a situation yesterday. It was a big game, and some days you do it and some days you don't. And yesterday was the day that I didn't.
I was looking at you in the 9th inning. You struck out against Dennis Eckersley. He said he's never struck you out before. Were you seeing the ball well yesterday?
I was seeing the ball well. I'm not making excuses, but possibly not playing in 4 days might have hindered my swing a little bit, but I really don't think so. I battled Stewart the first time up and got a base hit on a ball low and in. So I just think it was a situation that Eck threw a ball in a place that I wasn't expecting it to go, and when you've got 2 strikes, you're guarding the plate, and I just saw the ball and took a bad swing at it, and he struck me out.
What about after the ball game? All the questions about Wade Boggs. How tough was that to handle after the game?
Well, it was tough, but that's the part of the game that when you start playing Little League and you're age 6, that when you grow up to be a Major League ball player, you've got to deal with it. And you're going to fail in this game, and you're going to succeed. And some days you're a GOAT, and some days you're a hero. And Wade Boggs was a GOAT yesterday.
When we return here to Fenway Park, we'll go to the field for the introduction of the starting lineups as Game 2 between the A's and Red Sox getting very, very close. Fenway Park in Boston, Game 2, the American League Championship Series between the Oakland A's and the Boston Red Sox. The commissioner, Peter Ueberroth, is here. Everyone is bundled up. As we mentioned, it is very chilly. The skies have cleared, though, and there's no rain in the forecast as Game 2 will become a reality. One of the traditions is go to the field and introduce you to the starting lineups. To do that, our public address announcer, Sherm Feller.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we direct your attention to the third base foul line for the introduction of the starting lineup for the Western Division champion, Oakland Athletic. Number 10, manager Tony La Russa. Leading off, playing left field, number 22, Louis Polonia. Batting second, playing center field, number 42, Dave Henderson. The third batter, playing right field, number 33, Jose Canseco. Batting cleanup, the designated hitter, number 39, Dave Parker. Number 4, Carney Lansford, batting fifth, playing third base. Catching and batting sixth, number 24, Ron Hassey. At first base, batting seventh, number 25, Mark McGuire. Batting eighth, playing second base, number 2, Tony Phillips. The shortstop, number 7, Walt Weiss, will bat 9. And warming up the bullpen for the Athletics, the starting pitcher, number 14, Storm Davis. And now the starting lineup for the 1988 American League Eastern Division champion Boston Red Sox. The manager, number 35, Joe Morgan. third base, Wade Boggs. Batting second, playing second base, number 17, Marty Barrett. The right fielder, batting third, number 24, Dwight Evans. The cleanup hitter, playing left field, number 39, Mike Greenwell. The designated hitter, batting fifth, number 14, Jim Rice. The sixth batter is center fielder, number 12, Ellis Burks. Number 38, Todd Benzinger is at first base, will bat seventh. Batting eighth, playing shortstop, number 3, Jody Reed. Catching, batting ninth is number 10, Rich Gedman. And tonight's starting pitcher, number 21, Roger Clemens. Ladies and gentlemen, we direct your attention to the area just in back of second base where the Boston University ROTC will present the colors. And to honor America, we now invite you to stand. Please join Miss Julie Michael in the singing of our national anthem. Miss Judy Michael.
Just set. We'll be back with a final thought on this game as we approach the first pitch of game number 2. The A's and the Boston Red Sox. The A's leading 1-0. Fenway Park in Boston, and Joe Morgan, as we get ready to start this baseball game, what can we focus on?
Well, I think that Roger Clemens has an overpowering fastball. He can overpower most hitters in the league. But I think the Oakland A's have 3 real good fastball hitters: Jose Canseco, Dave Henderson, and Dave Parker. I think any attack they mount against Roger Clemens tonight will involve one of these 3 players.
Reggie, your thoughts?
I would say in my career of playing baseball over 20 years, some of the people I've learned to respect are guys that are capable of rising to the occasion, especially at times like this when it is so necessary. I believe that Roger Clemens is one of these men because I've seen him do it myself when I played for the California Angels. I look for him to have an outstanding ball game tonight, depending on how his health holds up.
Some talk that he's maybe worn out. We'll find out. Roger Clemens, 18-12, going against Storm Davis, who won 16 games, a career high. Back with the batting order. Also an inside look at the 2 pitchers. Game 2 just about ready. From Fenway Park, Gary Bender, Joe Morgan, and Reggie Jackson. Let's check now the batting order in this game for the Oakland Athletics. Polonia will be leading off and playing in left field. Henderson had a pair of hits in the game-winning RBI yesterday, batting second. Canseco with the home run, batting third. Dave Parker seeing his first action of the championship series. Lansford has been dropped down from a leadoff position. Hasse starting for the first time. He did come in a relief role yesterday. McGuire all the way down to the 7th position now, playing first base. Tony Phillips, who was in left field yesterday, now playing second base. And Walt Weiss is the shortstop.
And the Boston defense will have Todd Benzinger at first base. Marty Barrett is the second baseman. Jody Reed will be at shortstop. Wade Boggs is at third base. Mike Greenwell is in left field. Ellis Burks is in center field. Dwight Evans will be in right field. Rich Gedman will do the catching, and on the mound, Roger the Rocket Clemens.
Clemens 18-12. He led the majors in strikeouts. He had 8 shutouts. Let's call on now Paul Molitor of the Milwaukee Brewers for the inside pitch.
Roger Clemens, justifiably called the Rocket Man because he has one of the most explosive fastballs in the game. And the amazing thing about it is, along with the velocity, he has tremendous control. It's just very rare to see someone who can throw that hard and that accurately. But one thing underrated about Roger is his breaking ball. He has a tremendous slider as well. And you mix in an occasional forkball, and you can see why Roger's one of the best pitchers in the game today. Now, if the Oakland hitters can make him get the ball down in the strike zone, it's going to be a little bit easier for them. They have to make him throw the ball lower.
Clemens 6-8 at home this year. Let's check the umpiring crew. Ted Henry behind the plate. Tim McClellan at first. Greg Koch at second. Third base is Ken Kaiser. John Shulock in left field. And down the right field line, the crew chief, Don Deckinger. Polonia, who has been hitting .300 now, in his last 40 at-bats with 12 hits, will lead things off. He was a pinch runner yesterday in the ball game. Excellent speed. He's kind of a pesky hitter. Began the year in the minor leagues and then was called up. And Joe, this lineup change for Oakland.
Well, I think he moved McGuire down in the lineup because he has not been able to catch up with Roger Clemens' fastball as often as you think he might. And also, he's moved Carney Lansford down to 5th to protect Dave Parker. He wants a little hitting in there. And Ron Hasse has swung the bat well against right-handers all year.
And then the one change for the Red Sox, as you look at this temperature, 42 degrees, Reggie, is a Jim Rice moving up to the number 5 position in the batting order.
Jim Rice is 14 for 30 against Storm Davis.
Polonia takes the first pitch, and it misses for a ball. There's the Green Monster. 315 feet in left field. Call strike. 1-1. A lot of pressure on this guy, trying to even up the series. Strike 2 call. Clemens, 6'4", a 220-pounder, had tried to become the first pitcher since Jim Palmer to win 20 games 3 years in a row, and failed by 2 this season. That evens it up to 2-2.
That's the fork ball that Molitor talked about. He does not throw it very often, but when he needs a strikeout and he's ahead 0-2, he'll try to get the hitter to chase it.
2 balls, 2 strikes on the leadoff man. Jody Reed. One down, and that's going to bring up Dave Henderson. Henderson, who went 2 for 4 in the game yesterday.
42.
His RBI ended up being the game-winning RBI.
Center field, Henderson.
Well, you wonder where the A's would have been if Dave Henderson hadn't arrived on the scene this year.
Well, especially with the injury to Dave Parker that kept him out for quite a while. Dave Henderson helped pick up the slack. He and Canseco really carried him down the stretch.
A former Red Sox, in fact, former Red Sox haunted this team yesterday. Lansford scored the winning run. This guy drove in the winning run, and Eckersley got the save. All of them former Boston Red Sox. A strike.
Hey, Roger Clemens right now is doing his best to establish that fastball, and he's doing it in a big way.
And he just emphasized what you said, Reggie. 0-2 on Henderson. Just missed, and it's 1-2. There's the former Red Sox we're talking about. We mentioned all of them except Baylor, who started yesterday as a DH. 2-2.
I think if Roger Clemens realizes the job he has to do tonight, but you can see the excitement that he brings to the ball club, that he brings to the crowd. It didn't seem like the crowd was even at the ball game yesterday, even though Bruce Hurst pitched quite well.
Right field, Evans. 2 up and 2 down. And when this guy, Jose Canseco, comes to the plate, the crowd's alive. They react on everything he does. And he was the guy yesterday that got the A's started with a home run in the 4th inning.
Reggie, a strikeout pitcher always brings excitement to the ballpark. A guy that throws hard, a guy that hits the ball out of the ballpark like Canseco. This is your classic confrontation here. A fastball pitcher against a good fastball hitting power hitter.
1-0 on Canseco. There's the home run. Strawberry second. Dwyer in the 4th position. That was strength against strength.
I think these kind of confrontations are what really turns people on. It's like Borg against McEnroe, Russell going against Chamberlain, and now we've got Canseco going against Roger Clemens.
Boy, you can hear that mitt popping clear up here. 1-2. Right field. Evans. His second put out of the inning, and Clemens comes out strong. 1-2-3 order. No score for the A's, and the Boston Red Sox coming to bat.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Well, let's take a look at the amazing Boston Red Sox batting order that Storm Davis is going to face. The batting champion of the American League, Wade Boggs, leading off. Marty Barrett at second base. Dwight Evans in right field, batting third. Mike Greenwell in left field. Jim Rice now moving up to the number 5 spot as the DH. Ellis Burks, the center fielder. Todd Benzinger playing first base. Jody Reed, the shortstop, and Rich Gedman behind the plate.
And the Oakland A's defense will have Mark McGuire at first base. Tony Phillips moves in from left to play second tonight. Walter Weiss is the shortstop. Carney Lansford is the third baseman. Luis Polonia moves in to play left field tonight. Dave Henderson will be the center fielder. Jose Canseco will be in right field. Ron Hassey will do the catching. And on the mound, George Storm Davis.
He put together his finest season, a career-high 16 wins. Here's Paul Molitor of the Brewers with the inside pitch.
Storm Davis is right out of the Jim Palmer mold. He likes to throw straight over the top with a good live fastball. But it's important for Storm to be able to get his curveball over as well to set up that good live fastball. Now, he's more of a fly ball pitcher than a ground ball pitcher, which could cause him some problems in Fenway Park, especially if the wind is blowing out towards that green monster.
So Davis has to contend with the green monster, and right now Wade Boggs, who struck out yesterday 2 times, leaving 7 men on the base paths.
Gary, I don't think Wade Boggs feels any pressure at the beginning of this ball game, but I think he will if he gets a runner in scoring position.
Davis misses inside, and it's 1-1. You know, Boggs has struck out only 34 times in 1988 and 584 bats.
I tell you what, I heard an interesting statistic.
Fouled away, and it's 1-2.
Jimmy Lefevre told me he thinks that he's only missed the ball completely 34 to 35 times. I mean, missed the ball completely.
Well, that's the reason he has a .356 lifetime batting average.
He's got nothing in common with me, does he?
That evens it up now. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Boggs will be followed by Barrett and Evans.
No, also interesting here tonight is Wade Boggs' lifetime against Storm Davis is only hitting 180.
Foul, and the count will stay at 2-2. Storm Davis, a pleasant surprise for this baseball team. He was picked up from the San Diego Padres, had a miserable season. And look at this. In his first inning thus far, he's had some difficulties. He settles down inside, and it's full now at 3-2.
I remember him coming over here last year when I was with Oakland. He was a lost soul. He was looking for support and help, and he got that support from the Oakland A's, Dave Duncan, and Tony La Russa.
He puts Boggs on. So the leadoff man is on, and Marty Barrett, who was 0 for 4 yesterday, batting in the second position, comes up.
17.
Now this is where Barrett's so tough. He's so difficult to strike out.
Barrett.
Good hit and run man, and Boggs down at first as Barrett, who had a career high 65 RBIs this year, is up. Strike from Davis.
Manager Joe Morgan has made a lineup change by moving Jim Rice up in the order. The fact that they have not scored many runs lately, you would think that he may try to hit and run or put some guys in motion to do something differently.
Left field, going back, Polonia, and he has room to make the catch. And Boggs has to go back to first. That wind blowing in, Reggie. You can see the flag. It's an east wind, and Joe Morgan was telling us, but Joe Morgan, who's the Red Sox manager, was telling us that he's had about 8 balls he thinks knocked down this year that would have gone out otherwise.
Oh, I can remember playing here several times. That ball is a good ball to hit. It is up in the strike zone. We see him take the bat, cock it, get ready. Nice pass through the strike zone, and a real good swing. That ball was up in the strike zone, and that's why he got the ball out up near the wall. The ball didn't get on the wall because the flag is blowing in.
That brings up Evans, who struck out 3 times yesterday, going 1 for 4. He did have a double.
In my career playing here, I do know that that flag blowing in can make that fence move another 50 to 60 feet further back. It's surprising how large the park will play when the wind blows in.
1 strike now on Evans. Scored only 1 run their last 19 innings. We're talking about they're hitting 190 the last 7 games of the regular season.
No, after they won so many ball games in a row, I think it was 24 here at home, they've only been 29 and 29 since that at Fenway Park.
2-1, and to right center field. Canseco has this one gauged. 2 out. That'll bring up Mike Greenwell. Greenwell, kind of an interesting story on him. He is waiting for his wife Tracy to deliver their child, and after the game yesterday, he got on a plane and flew down to Fort Myers, Florida.
Left fielder, Greenwell.
2 away, Boggs at first, and he starts him out with a strike.
So far in this ball game, Gary, Storm Davis seems to have a better fastball than I remember seeing him have. He is throwing the ball pretty well.
Boggs still down at first with 2 down. Bottom of the first, no score. That missed outside, and it's 1-1.
He has been throwing the ball hard all year long. That is what Dave Duncan has told me earlier today. Almost as hard as Dave Stewart at times.
To center field. Henderson got a good jump on it, and that'll retire the side. So after the leadoff man Boggs reaches by the walk, Storm Davis slams the door. No score after 1. We played 1 here at Fenway Park, and the Red Sox
39.
down 1 game as we start the top of the second inning, and Dave Parker will lead things off. It'll be followed by Carney Lansford and then Ron Hasse. Parker's hit very well against the Red Sox this year. Hit .361. He had 1 shot out in center field in Fenway Park. To short, Reed has to back up, and very quickly Dave Parker's erased.
That was not a routine ground ball to shortstop. Jody Reed had to back up and take a tricky hop there. Dave Parker hit that ball with a lot of overspin. We'll get a look at it here. He's a little late on it, but there's a lot of overspin. Watch this big hop. See how he kind of jumps at Reed. That's not a routine ground ball. Nice play.
That brings up Carney Lansford, who was 1 for 4. Jody, the guy who was installed at shortstop when Joe Morgan took over as the skipper of the Red Sox. Lansford has ball 1. Lansford moved down in the starting lineup. He was the leadoff man in yesterday's game. Strike call. Carney's had one of those years where he's been hot and then he's been ice cold. He was hitting over 400 on June 4th, and then at the tail end of the season hit at a 196 pace. 1-2.
What we see from Roger Clemens here is not only is he overpowering, but he's hitting spots with his fastball. He's able to hit the outside corner, and that's a tough pitch from a guy that throws 90 miles plus.
1 ball, 2 strikes on Carney, and he strikes him out.
He came inside with a high fastball there. That's more of a strikeout pitch, the high fastball off the inside corner. We'll get another look at it. As you see, Rich Gedman is set up on the inside, so he doesn't move his glove very much.
94-mile-per-hour fastball.
And there you can see Carney Lansford just a little tardy on that fastball.
He'll be tardy on a few of those fastballs. First strikeout of the ball game for Clemens, and Ron Hassey coming in. Hassey playing in place of Terry Steinbach, who started yesterday's game, and then Hassey came in late to catch Dennis Eckersley. Strike 1 on Hassey. Boy, right now he is just throwing some real heat up there.
It'll be interesting to see how many people Roger Clemens does strike out. A lot of people feel that a guy like him, they're strong when they're striking people out. They're on their game. When they're losing it and they're not quite themselves, they're not striking people out.
1-2. Call strike 3 and 2 strikeouts in the inning. So he's retired the first 6 men in order. We go to the bottom of the second. No score. Bottom of the second inning, no score thus far. Trying to keep every part of the body warm. The water bottle, we mentioned the chill factor, 34 degrees at the start of this game. It'll get colder.
I think the weather's as cold as the bats are for the Red Sox. Jimmy Rice may be a guy that I am looking to see him do something offensively tonight.
This guy has done it through the years. What a remarkable player. 8-time All-Star, the MVP in '78 in the American League. High fly ball, left field. Plenty of room, though. Polonia's out there. 1 away. Tomorrow on ABC Sports, the Dodgers will battle the Mets in Game 3 of the National League Championship Series. Action begins live at 8 o'clock Eastern. Tomorrow on ABC, Al Michaels along with Tim McCarver and Jim Palmer will be bringing you that game. The series all even at 1. 1 down now, and Ellis Burks comes to the plate. Burks was 0 for 4 in the game yesterday. Outstanding all-around player for the Red Sox.
There are a lot of people that think he's going to be the next superstar in the American League. Everybody you talk to.
He made a great catch yesterday in center field coming in. He has had problems with a wrist that slowed him. He had surgery on the ankle, and he fought through all of that.
Everyone talks about the great year that Greenwell has had, but as soon as they get done giving him accolades, they say, hey, look for a guy named Ellis.
Oh, what a stab by Lansford. Line shot, and Carney was there.
Carney Lansford has been one of the best defensive third basemen in the American League for the last 3 or 4 years. And he's playing in shallow, which makes this an even tougher play because he has to react so quickly. Burks hit the ball like a shot.
Has a different style. He gets down very, very low when he's getting ready to field a ground ball. His get-ready position is really unorthodox.
Even though he struggled at the plate, he's never let that affect his defensive play. Benzinger up. Todd was 0 for 4 yesterday. 1 ball now on Benzinger. We're in the bottom half of the second inning with 2 down. Strike, and the count evens at 1-1.
We see an overpowering fastball from Roger Clemens. He's almost dominating the Oakland A's players at this point. But Storm Davis is getting the job done in a different way. He's changing speeds, using all of his pitches. I think pitching is the art of keeping the hitter off balance. And what Storm Davis is doing is using his fastball, moving it in and out, and taking a little bit off his breaking ball.
1 ball, 2 strikes on Benzinger, and he just missed with that one.
That was an excellent curveball, a good 2-strike pitch.
Storm Davis said he tried to model himself after Jim Palmer. You know, Davis began his career with the Baltimore Orioles. 2-2, and and it's now full at 3-2. He said the harder he tried to be like Jim Palmer, the worse it got.
I was going to say he better hurry up.
Well, now wait a minute. He's got a few years left.
Well, Palmer won 20 games 8 times and 260-some victories. That's not too shabby.
Promising beginning in Baltimore, a miserable year in San Diego, and now he's blossomed this year, but he walks Benzinger with 2 down. That's his second walk of the ball game. You might recall walked the leadoff man in this game, Wade Boggs. That'll bring up Jody Reed.
Jody Reed.
Reed was 1 for 2 yesterday and smacked a double. Popped up, short center field. Coming in is Henderson, and he'll put it away. So he's walked 2 men in 2 different innings, and it hasn't hurt him. We'll return to Fenway Park after this word from our local stations.
The winner of this year's Rolaids American League Relief Man Award, Dennis Eckersley. And now to present the award, John Walsh, president of American Chickle, makers of Rolaids.
Relief is our business, so at Rolaids we're pleased to present this award to the league's top reliever. This year, for the first time, Rolaids spells relief, Dennis Eckersley.
Thank you, John, and thank you, Rolaids, for this award. I'd like to thank my teammates, especially my teammates in the bullpen, because without them, I couldn't have won this award.
When lunch and a day at the park are too much for Tommy Lasorda, he reaches for Rolaids. Nothing works better for acid indigestion. And why should heartburn take the fun out of the game? Relief. You know how to spell it.
We've played 2 here at Fenway Park. No score. The Goodyear Blimp America from Houston, Texas, with pilot Larry Chambers at the controls, and our cameraman is Bill Sullivan, providing all these pictures from high above. The Goodyear Blimps have been covering major sporting events for over 60 years, and glad to have him with us here. Mark McGwire will lead things off. McGwire batted in the 5th position yesterday. He's been dropped to number 7. Now, he's had a tough time against Roger Clemens in the past. And if you look at a graphic on Mark McGwire, I know what you're going to say, Joe Morgan. You're going to say he hasn't had enough at-bats to really know if he can hit this guy.
8 at-bats is not enough to decide whether he can hit Roger Clemens. I believe you have to have at least 25 at-bats before you can develop a pattern.
Now, McGwire is a good breaking ball pitcher, but you would think he could hit that fastball as big and strong as he is, Reggie.
Well, you can think a lot of things, but if you can't hit it, it doesn't matter what kind of thinking you do.
Or how strong you are, right?
That's exactly true.
1 ball, 1 strike. Clemens has erased the first 6 men to face him as we start this 3rd inning.
There are some players that just have trouble with certain kind of pitches. I think Big Mac has trouble with the fastball up, with this kind of mustard on it, with this kind of speed.
Well, Roger Clemens is also making perfect pitches on Mark McGwire here. So that could be one of the reasons he's 0 for 8. You don't expect a guy to make that many perfect pitches over a 25 at-bat period.
McGwire strikes out. He has now struck out the last 3 batters.
Well, he will never be able to hit this pitch against Roger Clemens. That's a high fastball, over 90 miles an hour, and it's up and away. You cannot handle that pitch from Roger Clemens. You have to be able to lay off of it.
And if he keeps swinging at that pitch, then Roger Clemens, with the control he has with his fastball, is going to stay letter high all night long.
3 straight strikeouts, and now Tony Phillips batting in the 8th position. Tony yesterday started in left field, now playing second base.
That's the same pitch right there that Tony Phillips just swung at, a fastball up. Tony Phillips is not going to touch that baseball.
1 strike on Tony, and right now, I think you said it very well, Joe Morgan. Clemens is pitching some perfect baseball.
He's overpowering everyone with this high fastball, and you have to lay off of the pitch. You can't hit it consistently, so you have to lay off of it. But the reason you swing at it because it's eye high and you see it better out of his hand.
And another strikeout. 4 in a row.
This is where you talk about a guy with great control. He's showing you his great control right now. He is throwing that ball up in the strike zone, letter high, consistently, and that's where he wants the baseball. He gets ready, he cocks, he gets the foot ready, he stays in on the ball, but it's by him. No chance.
Who said Clemens was worn out? Who said he was having tendonitis problems? Who said his side was bothering him?
Who dat?
Wasn't me.
He seems to be getting stronger. He did not strike out any of the hitters in the first inning, but he's starting to really let it go. Maybe there was a time that he wasn't sure his arm was okay. Now I'm sure he feels that he's in rare form, and he's going to let it go.
Walt Weiss at the plate, and 2-0 now on Walt Weiss. And a nice stab by Benzinger. 3 up and 3 down once again. 2 more strikeouts in the inning. Roger the Rocket Clemens has come out here looking like the Cy Young Award winner. Bottom of the third, Gary Bender, Reggie Jackson, Joe Morgan. No score. Storm Davis. Only blemish thus far for him in the first 2 innings. He walked 2 men, but he was able to get out of any difficulty as Rich Gedman will lead things off. The 9th man in the batting order. And Davis comes right at him with a strike. Gedman yesterday had 2 base hits, going 2 for 3 in the ball game. And it evens at 1-1. Storm Davis, we talked about, he had a career year in wins. He had 16. He also won 10 straight. He really got on a roll for this team. Swings through it. Foul tipped it.
No, he has been a fella throughout this year and really throughout his career that has not completed a lot of ball games. He takes full advantage of that outstanding bullpen that set the American League record for saves. There's only 1 complete game this year.
There's the 10. Juan Agosto of Houston's a reliever who had that mark that tied him. And of course Steve and Viola, who many people feel will be the Cy Young Award winner in the American League.
He's had a great one.
All 3rd strikes, so the leadoff man is out.
That was a perfect pitch. Fastball inside.
The ball actually starts inside and tails back over the plate. See the catcher's glove? And it tails back on the inside corner. Good pitch from Storm Davis.
That's his first strikeout.
That is a place where you are vulnerable when you do have 2 strikes on you. You're just trying to protect the plate.
Wade Boggs, who walked back in the first, looks at a call strike.
You're just trying to protect the plate, put the bat on the ball, and put the ball in play. And that is where you are vulnerable when a guy makes a perfect pitch with that kind of fastball.
That graphic, of course, yesterday's action, 1 for 4, the 2 strikeouts, and the only RBI of the game for Boston. There's the average, 366. That's the 2nd highest average in Boggs' career. Puckett, look at the average he put together, and Greenwell 3rd.
A lot of people have forgotten about the great year that Kirby Puckett had. 230-some hits, 120-some RBIs, 356.
And plays a mean center field.
Super player.
2-2 on Boggs, and another strikeout.
Fastball inside corner again.
So Davis now following in the direction that Roger Clemens has established tonight. 2 down.
Watch this pitch. He's going to start it inside off the plate. See, it's way inside. Now it tails back on the inside corner.
They were trying to pitch him inside too, because you see where the glove was. He believes it. He's just a little confused right now.
Call strike on Barrett. Barrett right out to left field the first time. You could see what he did yesterday in game 1. Third base, Lansford. And McGuire had to reach for that, but he got it, and it's a 3 up and 3 down inning. Outstanding pitching through 3. No score at Fenway Park.
22.
So much history here in Boston and in this ballpark. Built in 1912. Yesterday posted the 57th consecutive home date where they've had 30,000 plus in Fenway Park. Top half of the 4th, Roger Clemens will face Polonia, Henderson, and Canseco.
You talk about a history, Gary. You know, the Red Sox were involved in some history they've got a chance to taste tonight. In 1986 against the Mets, they were down 2-0. They won 2 games, the first 2 games, and wound up losing the World Series.
Third base side going over there, but with no play is Boggs. 2 strikes now on Polonia. Polonia grounded out the first time. Grounded in front of the plate, and Roger off the mound. And he threw it away. Polonia will head to second. The ball down the right field line. Evans comes up with it. Polonia makes a turn, and the throw comes into third. Well, he's been throwing strikes at the plate, but he couldn't throw a strike at first base.
Now, what we see here, Gary, is Polonia's speed fooled Roger Clemens. See, right here, he thinks he has plenty of time. But now he looks up. Now he tries to rush, and he throws the ball away.
They're going to rule that a base hit and an error. The base hit given to Polonia, and then advancing to second on the throwing error.
Well, he thought he had more time than he did. He looked up and saw Polonia flying, and he had to rush his throw.
That's where it pays to hustle at all times. You hit a ground ball back to the pitcher or just a topper sometime, bust your tail. It may turn out on the good side. You never know what can happen in this game.
Isn't it amazing, though, how his control was just fastidious, and all of a sudden he couldn't make the strike at first base. Dave Henderson up.
We'll get another look at it here. Rogers there in plenty of time. See, now he takes his time, then he looks up, and he sees that Polonia is almost there, and he rushes his throw. We'll see how the Oakland A's play this, Gary. They will have to try to get the ball to the right side. You saw Henderson square around the first pitch, but he can hit the ball to the right side, so they may take the bunt sign off.
One ball on Henderson, and he fouled that one, I think, off of Gedman. 1-1 the count.
We'll get another look at it here. You see Dave Henderson trying to go to right field. He's trying to move the runner along by shooting the ball to the right side.
Clemens knows that, and I'm sure he's going to try to keep that ball right in there on his fist with that 90-plus fastball.
Square round a punt, and it's a call, strike two. He strikes him out. I think that's getting doubly tough. That's 5 strikeouts now for Clemens.
What he's showing is he has good command of his fastball tonight. This is a good 2-strike pitch. Most of his strikeouts tonight have come on the 2-strike high fastball. And when the fastball gets up here, it may be 95 miles an hour belt high, but when it gets up there, it seems like it's about 105 miles an hour. You cannot catch up with it.
And right during the replay, you can see that ball was by him.
One down now. Canseco, who flied to right the first time. That's impressive, the way he threw that one. 1 strike on Canseco.
If they call that pitch up in the strike zone like that, the A's will not have a chance to hit him. That was a high fastball out of the strike zone probably, but if they call that pitch a strike, the A's are going to be in for a long evening.
He's going to third. Here's the throw by Gedman. And he got him. Boy, that was a late call at third by the umpire. I wasn't even sure that he gave the outside.
We'll get another look at Polonia. Had a pretty good jump. Gedman makes a good throw. And we'll see if he gets in there or not. He got him right on the hand. It's a good call.
Now watch Ken Kaiser. Well, you can't see him in this, but he gave one of those slam dunk moves rather than the thumb. But anyway, Polonia is out, 2 down, and Canseco now the count of 2-1. Well, you wonder going to third with your big bat at the plate.
I don't think it was a bad play this early in the ball game. You're trying to get something started. Clemens has been dominating so far, so you try to get something started by being aggressive on the bases.
2-2.
Joe, I want to let the big guy try to drive me in. If the guy with 124 RBIs can't drive me in and 42 home runs in this ballpark, as you see a very quick tag by Boggs, if he can't drive this guy in, then who is? So let's stay there and let us see if we can do the job now.
3-2. Right field, Evans. And that'll do it. So after Polonia got on with a base hit, moved to second and error, cut down at third, and this guy took over from here. No score after 3.5. In Fenway Park, they talk about the Green Monster, but see that screen up above? That screen was installed in 1936 to save the windows across Lansdowne Street. There were a lot of complaints about home run balls crashing through the window.
I say they're cheap. They're trying to save the baseballs.
That wall out there extended by the screen, reaches up to 60 feet. Anyway, Dwight Evans to lead things off. No score as we go to the bottom of the 4th inning.
3-4-5 hitter. This is what's termed the meat of the order.
Evans the first time, flied out to right, and now Storm is behind 2-0.
Dwight Evans is a very good cripple hitter. Cripple pitch is a 2-0 pitch or a 3-1 pitch. You usually get a fastball, and he is a good triple hitter.
High pop-up. Phillips at second base is going to take it. 1 out. Well, we talked about the Green Monster. What it's like to play out in left field. Well, the guy that should know is Mike Greenwell.
You know, we're great players, and I have some big shoes to fill, and I know that. But I try to tell everybody I'm just going to go out and be Mike Greenwell, and hopefully that'll be good enough. I can't try to beat Ted Williams. I can't beat Carter Stimskin. I'm not Jim Rice. I'm Mike Greenwell, and hopefully someday someone will look back and go, they had 4 guys in 50 years, and maybe I'll fit right into that tradition.
Been pretty good thus far, hasn't it? Going to be the runner-up in the MVP balloting. Most people feel the American League. 1-1 now on Mike Greenwell. 2-1. 1 down. We're in the bottom of the 4th. Jim Rice due up next. 3-1. And Davis now, for the first time, he's walked 2 guys and now falling behind some people as we're in this 4th inning.
He's an average of walking more than a little more than 4 guys a ball game, so he may be on pace.
3-1 on Greenwell, and he walked him. 3rd walk of the game.
I was saying earlier in the show tonight that I think someone needs to step forward. I think this man could be Jimmy Rice. He's had good success against Storm Davis over the years. He's 14 for 30. That's why he's moved up in the order. He's hit 5 home runs in the month of September. Lost his job here earlier to Mike Greenwell. He's got something to prove. He had a run-in with the manager. He wants to show people that he's still a great player.
And now Davis drops behind. 1 ball, no strikes. Greenwell at first.
I think there are a lot of people out there who have judged Jim Rice's career here in Boston by the one incident that happened with Joe Morgan. But I don't think you can do that because he's been a solid player for 13 years here.
2-0. See the wind blowing in, that east wind over the monster in left. Look at that. Runs batted in. 14-23, and he popped it up. Lansford coming all the way down to home plate. 2 outs. So 2 pop-ups in the inning, 1 by Evans and now 1 by Jim Rice. And that'll bring up Ellis Burks.
The 12.
Well, if he's going to be Mr. October, that's not going to help his cause.
And a fielder.
Mr. October sitting to our right is the reason I bring that up. Reggie, I guess the adrenaline must have been flowing when you were playing in those months of October.
I enjoyed games like this, and I realized that you had to do it now. I stared it right in the face. You had to make something happen, and all the time I wanted to be part of that victory.
McGuire at first with Mike Greenwell. Burks the first time lined out to Lansford, you might recall.
But let's say this, in 1977 during the World Series, I got 1 hit in the first 2 games, and it was a blooper. From there on in, I did some hammering.
Did you have some sleepless nights?
No. Only after the series was over.
I'll leave that one alone. 1 ball, no strikes, 2 down, and a man at first. 1-2, center field. Henderson on his horse. He's going to have to hurry, and he made a remarkable catch. Dave Henderson got a great jump on the ball, and Burks took him as deep as you can go in center field.
Well, this is straight over his shoulder, similar to the catch Willie Mays made in the World Series. Very good play.
The only difference is those numbers are reversed. Mays was 24. We'll return to Fenway Park after this word from our local stations.
Hi, this is Willie Mays. Baseball is a game of playing to win, but playing it safe and so is life. You can play hard, but play it safe. If you kids find anything that looks like those, don't touch them. Those are blasting caps. Remember now, don't touch them. Blasting caps are used almost every place. Explosives are used. like in a construction work. But you protect your arms and hands and legs and save your eyes. If you see a blasting catch, remember now, don't touch them. Tell the police or a fireman, wherever it is. Have fun like I do with those and not with these.
The reason he makes this play, two reasons. He gets a great jump and he runs right to the baseball. Soft hands. Keeps his eye on it all the time. Great play.
Burks is saying, why did I hit it to the 420-foot mark? Why didn't I pick another spot?
That's the second time he was right. The first time up, he hit a rocket to Carney Lansford.
And Henderson, who made a great catch against the Angels that year, and also hit the big home run, and he has really responded. This is Parker. He'll be followed by Lansford and Hasse as we are now in the top of the fifth. No score. And Clemens just picks up where he left off.
That's a spot that Dave Parker is very vulnerable anyway, up and in. And when you have the real good fastball, you can go there all day long. But if you get it down and out over the plate, Dave can handle it.
Now, Joe, this is one of the three guys you said can handle his fastball.
Right. He can handle that one, not the one up and in. Not many people can handle the one up and in.
2 strikes. There's the breakdown thus far on the Rocket.
I'm sure that Roger Clemens does not believe that Dave Parker can hit his fastball, so I do not expect to see any breaking balls to this gentleman.
He's going to go inside with a fastball here.
And he just hit that one off the end of the bat. Boggs is over. That's a tough catch, and he made it. Kind of a strange catch. The way he came up with it almost got him. It looked like handcuffed, but Boggs stayed with it.
Gentlemen, has Wade Boggs gone in and changed his jersey? Is he superstitious? Here's a great play. He tracks that ball all the way and an ice cream cone and stays right on it.
Speaking of ice cream, tough to locate the ball the way he did, but he got there. There's one down, and Lansford, who was a strikeout victim back in the second. Left field, short, coming in, Greenwell. Well, he's talking about playing left field with the best of them. That wasn't a bad effort here.
Well, you see him coming in very quickly, tracks the ball. Now he sees that he's going to be able to get there, and he wants to avoid a collision with Jody Reed, so he slides and he makes a good play.
Ball had a funny spin on it, didn't it? And it came off the bat.
Well, the ball was inside. An outstanding fastball. You know, very good pitch from Roger Clemens again. The ball was inside, and he was jammed.
But Roger Clemens changed his motion on that pitch, Reggie. It looked like he slowed his motion down completely and threw the pitch inside. It was not the normal Roger Clemens style there. He changed up a little bit in his motion.
So there's 2 out now, and this is Hasse, who struck out in the second. I keep getting the feeling, Joe, that you're spotting something out there. You haven't given up on that theme yet.
No, I was watching him, and he slowed his motion on the pitch to Carney Lansford. He walked around the mound a lot then. I'm not sure he's completely okay right now.
Marty Barrett. It's a 3-up and 3-down inning. So thus far, Clemens has faced the minimum of 15 batters through 5 innings. No score as we go to the bottom of the 5th. Fenway Park in Boston. Seen some outstanding baseball through the years, and tonight we're having an outstanding performance by this guy, Roger Clemens, along with Storm Davis. This is on tape, and we're just following him into the dugout, Joe, and just curious as to what he would do if his arm's bothering him, if there's any difficulty. As we begin the inning, it's going to be Benzinger along with Jody Reed and Rich Getman against Davis.
That's been the big question. If he's strong, he's going to be tough all night long.
Evens up at 1-1 on Benzinger. Benzinger walked back in the second inning. Davis thus far has gone through 4 innings. No hits, no runs, struck out 2, but he's walked 3. But thus far survived all of that.
He's not given up a base hit yet.
1-2, and that off of Davis. Lansford won't have a play. Base hit. So the first base hit of the ball game, and I don't want anybody to say that we jinxed it.
I won't say anything.
Benzinger hits this ball very hard back through the middle, and it goes off of Storm Davis's right leg. Carney Lansford tries to make the play, but he comes up with it and smartly does not throw the first base.
You know, Joe, what I think happened is I don't know how hard the ball was hit. I think Storm Davis was out of position to field the ball.
Well, he falls off to the first base side.
He's supposed to be in a ready position, square to home plate. He fell way over to first, and the ball hit him in the side of the leg.
Well, Davis has gone only 1 inning without letting a man get on base. That was the third. And now has the leadoff man with a base hit, and here is Reed. Ball 1.
And you see a situation here where the Red Sox are having trouble scoring runs, and Joe Morgan's going to go to the bunt just to try to get a runner in scoring position here.
They got to manufacture something. The bunt is down. Davis has only 1 play. That's to first, and so the sacrifice is complete. That'll bring up Rich Gedman.
It's a well-executed bunt play by Jody Reed. He bunts it down the first baseline. Storm Davis's only play is to first base. And the Red Sox have the go-ahead run at second.
That represented by Benzinger, so a job well done by Jody Reed. We saw Benzinger yesterday after the game. He got into a car and he looked 17 years old. Boy, is he a young guy. Had some glasses on at the time. Gedman. Line to Weiss. He caught it. And they're going to double him off a second. That is some play by Walt Weiss. He took that one just off the ground. So Benzinger double off. And Davis, who had given up his first hit, gets out of the inning. We played 5. There's no score at Fenway Park.
Swing, ground ball up the middle. Weiss dives, stops it, lobs to second, in time. Oh, he got him on a brilliant play.
Swung on, line drive. Weiss makes a brilliant backhanded stab, and the inning is over. Is that the Rookie of the Year or not?
I knew I was filling some pretty big shoes. I just wanted to go out and be a steady shortstop and be able to handle bat and help the team out a little bit offensively. I'm happy with the way it's gone. I'm getting a chance to play every day on a contending team, and I can't ask for any more than that, you know, so it's been great.
Some play by Walt Weiss. He's made all the plays for this team, considered by many to be the leading candidate for the American League Rookie of the Year. Let's look at it again, Joe Morgan.
Gedman lines the ball towards shortstop. He waits on it, and he makes the catch, and he immediately looks at the second base umpire, Greg Coast, can make sure that he caught the ball. And there you can see he does make the catch. He shows it to the umpire, and he flips to second base for the double play.
Benzinger had no chance to get back. So McGuire will lead it off. He'll be followed by Phillips and Weiss. No score through 5. Both teams with 1 base hit. McGuire, the first time out, went down swinging. Popped up. Right field, Benzinger in foul territory. And he tried to come up with it. Great effort. One thing about landing in a crowd in cold weather, there's a lot of cushion.
One thing to remember here is that if the ball is in the stands, the fans have a right to it. They cannot reach out onto the field to interfere with him making the catch. But when he goes into the stands, they do not have to let him catch the ball, and they want their souvenirs.
Isn't that an umpire judgment call, Joe?
No. If the ball is on the field of play, it's the umpire's judgment call whether he can make the play or not. But if it's in the stands, it's the fans' ball.
1 strike on McGuire. Now evens at 1-1. Roger Clemens giving up a base hit back in the 4th. Polonia then going to second on an error, was cut down trying to steal third as McGuire fouls it back, and it's 1-2.
Home run duos. Canseco and McGuire have hit over 150 together the last 2 years. That's a lot of home runs.
Called third strike. 6th strikeout of the ball game for the Rocket. I've mentioned 3 guys at over 40 home runs. This guy did it. Canseco did it this year. And you know who the other guy was? Mr. Jackson.
This is what you call a great pitch. Fastball on the outside, black. Questionable call, you say, Joe? You know what they say when you're in the dugout? Rembrandt threw that pitch. Painting the outside corner.
1 down as Tony Phillips. He was a strikeout victim back in the 3rd. Again, Phillips starting at left field last night. Second base now. They don't have Glenn Hubbard on the 24-man roster, so this guy and Gallego will be playing second. 1 ball and 1 strike.
I would say there's nothing wrong with Roger Clemens. I thought he would come out and throw a lot more breaking balls or fork balls this inning, but I think he's regained his confidence in his fastball, and he's going right after him.
Left center field. That ball is going to go to the wall. Phillips makes a turn. He's on his way to second. The throw by Burks, and a stand-up double for Tony Phillips. Base hit number 2 for the A's. And with 1 down, here comes Weiss to the plate.
What happens here is Roger gets the fastball down. This is not the high fastball he's been throwing. Tony Phillips goes the other way with it and lines it up the gap in left center field. And he goes into second easily with a double.
Strong throw by Burks.
It's a pretty shot. Ball hit in the alley. That's what Paul Molitor said before the game started in the inside pitch. You got to make Roger Clemens get the ball down, or you won't be able to handle it.
So Phillips in scoring position at second. Weiss at the plate. He grounded out unassisted to first base the first time. Misses. Outside, and the count goes to 2-1.
I think Joe Walter-Weiss has had some success against Roger Clemens over in Oakland when he lost that 1-0 game to Dave Stewart. Walter-Weiss, the unknown man, was 3 for 3 against Roger Clemens, and the last time up he hit a sharp ground ball to the first baseman Benzinger.
He was 3 for 3 against Clemens in that ball game. Ball strike 2, 2-2.
There's another hard slider from Clemens. That's a hard slider.
3-2 pitch. He got him. 7th strikeout. 2 in the inning. Both of them on called 3rd strikes. And that'll bring up Polona.
I think maybe he had lulled Walter-Weiss to sleep there. He threw him a lot of breaking balls, as you were saying, Joe. But here, a perfect fastball, 90+ miles an hour on the inside corner of the plate, froze him stiff. Couldn't move. Is that called rising 1 notch above?
Well, I think what happened is he went back to his best pitch. Most pitching coaches will tell you, do not get beat with your 2nd or 3rd best pitch. He went back to his best pitch.
Bologna got the first hit in this ball game for the A's and lines that one down the left field line. Call, he reached on a play at first and then went to second on a throwing error by the pitcher Clemens.
I'm not so sure that was a hit, and to give that a base hit on the first hit of the game is a questionable call. Something a little, should I say, inexpensive or cheap?
Tell it like it is, Reggie. 1 strike, and that one goes high, and it's 1-1. One ball, 2 strikes. Called 3rd strike, and he strikes out the side of the 6th. He just reared back and reached for something extra. We've gone now through 5.5. No score. Bottom of the 6th inning. With Joe Morgan and Reggie Jackson, I'm Gary Bender. The top of the order now for the Red Sox. It'll be Boggs, Barrett, and Evans. 2 hits for the A's. Boston with 1. Storm Davis continuing for the A's. Boggs first ball hitting, and he's easily taken care of. Boy, boy, you got to consider yourself fortunate to get by the American League's leading hitter that easily.
17. I heard a spattering of boos in the crowd when he grounded the ball back to the pitcher.
I've got to figure, Joe and Gary, that these Boston fans here are not going to stand for too many more outs from Wade Boggs. They are impatient and waiting for a championship for a long time.
1918. You remember that year?
Joe does.
One out now. Here's Barrett, and Barrett, right center field. Henderson racing over. Canseco calling for it. He's got it. 2 down. It's getting colder, I believe, and as I said, these people here in the New England area know how to prepare for this type weather. Football weather in American League Championship Series action.
The Boston Red Sox this inning have swung at the first 2 pitches here in the inning and made 2 outs. Normally late in the ball game you do not do that because you want the pitcher to work a little bit. But they've swung at the first 2 pitches and made 2 outs.
You also want Roger Clemens to have some rest. Normally Dwight Evans would take this pitch automatically just to give his pitcher a little more time on the bench.
Evans the last time popped up fly to right in the first inning. Strike call.
Very, very quietly, Storm Davis is matching Roger Clemens 0 for 0.
You saw that graphic. He's averaged 6 innings pitched. Well, that's where we are right now with 2 down and a 1-1 count on Dwight Evans. 2-1. The A's set a major league record this year with 64 saves from the bullpen. Talked to La Russa. He said he could use Eckersley if he had to use him 1 inning. He might use him with 2 outs to go in the 8th if he had to. 2-2 on Evans.
We are seeing some great pitches from both pitchers here tonight. That pitch is a perfect spot, low and away, and it's 2-1 on the count.
Now we have somebody running on the field.
That's Joe's pass. That's a pass. Joe left a guy a pass earlier tonight.
Well, they're going to have to get somebody out there. He's slowing up the game. I guarantee you.
You know, it's unfortunate that this is a great ball game. And all the other fans that are here wanting to watch are being disturbed by one individual.
I guarantee you that guy's got some problems. 2-2 to Dwight, and it's a full count of 3 balls and 2 strikes. And he walked it. So a 2 down. That is the 4th walk of the ball game given up by Storm Davis. And Greenwell will come up. He got one of the walks in the 4th. And then fly it out to center field in the first inning.
Left fielder, number 39, Greenwell.
Gary, I did an interview with Mike Greenwell yesterday, and he wanted me to say hello to his father in Florida, who's recovering from a heart attack, and he just wanted me to say hello. And we happen to have the same name for our fathers. Our first name, both are Leonard. My father's name, Leonard Morgan, and his father's name, Leonard.
Also, his wife, Tracy, who's having to wait on that first baby. So this guy's had, I would imagine, some problems trying to focus in on everything. Greenwell with a chance now to do some damage with Evans down at first. 2 out. All strike, and it's 1-1. Two and one, and now it is 3-1. Dwyer holding Evans on, and a call strike, and it's a full count. 3-2 pitch. The runner moving, of course, and going down to first with a 2nd walk of the inning. The 6th to the ball game is Greenwell. 2 on now, and here comes Jim Rice.
Maybe this is why he has just been averaging 6 innings per ball game. I'm sure that's going to get something stirring in the Oakland bullpen.
But he still seems to be throwing well, Reggie.
He still has good stuff on the ball. Here's Jimmy Rice. Jimmy Rice is 14 for 30 off him, lifetime 467. You see Tony La Russa a little bit nervous right now. Jimmy's due.
Nobody up and throwing yet. Center field, Henderson, and he got there and dropped the ball. He dropped it. Scoring as Evans into third. Goes Greenwell.
That ball hits him right in the heel of the glove. That ball should have been caught, but it looked like Dave. I don't think you could say he was nonchalant on anything, but it looked like he had it very easy, or thought he was going to have it very easily.
Boy, that comes on the heels of that great catch he made in center field back in the fourth inning.
No, a lot of times, and you know this, Joe, if you run on the heels of your feet, your eyes will bounce and jar, and you won't get a clear look at that ball.
So the error puts runners at first and third. The Red Sox have taken a 1-0 lead. Burks at the plate. 0 for 2, and he was the guy that had that drive hauled in center field by Henderson, and now change. Dave Duncan coming to the pitching mound. 2 men up and throwing now in the A's bullpen. It's Gene Nelson and Cataray. Duncan will retreat. All strike, 1-1. Base hit. Greenwell to score. Rice makes the turn. He's on his way to third as Canseco brings it into Phillips.
It's a fastball away, and Burks drills it to right field. It almost hits Jim Rice. If it would have hit him, it would have been the end of the inning, because that would have been interference.
It looked like it did hit him.
Wasn't exactly a graceful move by Rice, but it was enough. You know, the base on balls didn't hurt Davis. He got away with it until the 6th inning. And now the ball gets through Hasse, but Rice cannot advance. But going to second on the play is Ellis Burks.
You know, I can remember playing for Gene Mock. He used to always get your attention when you were on third base and say, be ready, be ready. You never know what can happen. And it didn't look to me like Jimmy Rice was ready, because he should have scored on this ball. And if he'd have been alert, they'd have had their third run.
Ron Hasse should have been able to keep it in front of him as well. He did not get his body in front of the ball.
One thing you got to remember, when Joe Morgan became the manager, he left the third base coaching box and moved Rack Slider over there. So that's been a change in that position for the Red Sox. That was scored a wild pitch. Strike call now. Benzinger, who had a single back in the 5th. Walked in the 2nd. 2-0 Boston.
The A's have a base open here and a right-handed hitter on deck. I'm not sure why they're pitching to Benzinger.
Foul back. Reed is the next man up. He swung through that one, a big strikeout, and finally ends it here. But the Red Sox able to pick up 2 runs. They lead it now 2-0 after 6. We'll return to Fenway Park after this word from our local station.
IBM presents You Make the Call. With a runner on first, the batter hits a ground ball to the shortstop, who beats the runner to the bag. But look, the ball is in his hand and not his glove. Is the runner out? You make the call. On a force play, a fielder can touch the base with any part of his body as long as he has control of the ball. If you said that the runner is out, you made the right call.
Roger Clemens now stake to the 2-run lead. Will face Henderson, Canseco, and Parker. Center field base hit. So Henderson now trying to bring his teammates back. Leads off with a single. That'll bring up Canseco, who's flied out to right field the first 2 times.
Now that they've seen Roger Clemens twice in the order, these are the 3 guys that I think have the best chance of handling his fastball. Dave Henderson, Jose Canseco, and Dave Parker. And like I say, they've seen him twice already, and I feel that he's lost a little on his fastball, but it's still a very good fastball.
That's the 3rd hit of the series now for Henderson, the 3rd hit of the night for the A's. Had something on that one.
To see how good of a pitcher he is, Joe, and I think he's a great one if he can adjust to losing a little bit off that fastball, spot the ball a little bit more, show him a breaking ball, show him the fork ball, and just make some good quality pitches and mix them up a little bit.
Henderson at first, Canseco, and a call strike.
Looked like that fastball ran down and in or was a ball, and I'm sure that's why Canseco's talking about it.
Well, it looks like a pretty good pitch to me, a good pitch to hit. You want Roger to get the ball down, so you have to attack it when he gets it down. You cannot hit his high fastball. You're going to have to hit the one below the belt.
So now Canseco in a hole.
Facing a guy like this in a situation like this, really at a disadvantage. He can do anything he wants. He can waste a pitch, throw you a breaking ball, try to make a perfect pitch.
0-2 to Canseco. Fly ball high in the air to left field. Greenwell watching that one. It's gone off the screen. And his 2nd home run of this championship series, and we're all even at 2. I don't know about you guys, but when he hits something, it just brings this game up about 2 or 3 notches. Is he exciting?
There's no doubt about that one, and we could attest to that by taking a look at Greenwell. He just looked up in the sky and didn't even move. It was a no-doubter right from the crack of the bat, and we see the big bash.
Well, he gets a fastball down. Watch this fastball. It's not the high fastball he's been swinging and missing. And as I mentioned, I think these guys can handle his fastball, and when he loses just a little bit, he becomes target practice for a guy like Canseco.
Remember now, that was an 0-2 count.
That's called a bad pitch. That is a bad pitch, no doubt about it.
Well, Canseco made it a bad pitch.
That's a pretty good point.
Joe, I think that he could have wasted the pitch. He could have thrown a high fastball, could have thrown a breaking ball. There are a lot of things he could have did there. He could have tried to make a perfect pitch. That ball was right in the fat part of the bat.
Well,
Too much wide of the plate is what they call it.
Both hits by Canseco in this series have been home runs. You know, Oakland out-homered Boston 13-1 during the regular season. Now they're 2-0 in this series. Parker continues it. It's going to drop in for a base hit. So 3 straight now. And I got to hand it to you, Joe. You kept saying something was happening out there, and right now it looks like you knew exactly what you were talking about.
Well, it was just the 3 guys coming up this inning that I thought could handle his fastball even when he's fresh. And I think he's a little off his game right now, but those 3 guys are not off their game.
2-2, a runner at first. Lansford is up. Morgan had Bob Stanley up and throwing. Lansford, going to be a tough play. Reed, and did they get him? They did. They just got Parker at second.
The umpire sure confused me, that's for sure.
And here comes La Russa. He's charging out there.
But I'm sure he's coming out because of the call. The way he made the call. He had the left arm in a safe call and the right arm in an out call.
Reminds me of the play at third when Ken Kaiser didn't give any call. He did a slam dunk move. I've never seen that one before. Cost, the second base umpire, and Tony came charging out. He wanted to be absolutely sure that he got his 2 bits in here.
Is that called a stammer in giving your sign?
Certainly indecisive.
Plus, I don't think he's giving Tony La Russa the answer he wants to hear either.
Did you expect him to?
I don't know if we'll be able to call it from this angle. Very close play.
Heck of a play by Reed just to get to the ball.
Right. He makes a good play. We'll get a better look at it from this angle maybe. No, you can't tell.
Greg Kosk, look at that right there. You're out and you're safe, but you're out.
Well, if you make it call both ways, you can't go wrong, right? Well, anyway, Parker's erased at first now. On the fielder's choice is Carney Lansford. Still 2 runs in, and Hasse at the plate. Hasse fouls it straight back.
He has certainly done the great play there by Jody Reed. Stays on his feet and then has enough of a sense about the play to go on and throw it. I didn't think he was going to have a chance.
Now, wait a minute. Was there a balk call on this? Morgan now is going to come out. He's going down to the third base umpire who would be calling that. Ken Kaiser. It's not a good inning for the umpires. So it is a balk call as Lansford is given second base.
But Ken Kaiser is telling him that you cannot come out here and argue a balk call as well. You can't argue a balk call.
Well, he's doing it, Joe. Somebody forgot to tell Joe Morgan that.
I can see where Joe Morgan would be upset, but you cannot argue with an umpire over a balk call.
Well, we said going into this championship series we'd let Joe Morgan take the balk calls, right? And look at this. No discernible stop, evidently.
And Kaiser's telling him to go back to the bench, which is what he has the right to do. I guarantee you if this was not a playoff game, he would have been thrown out because you cannot go out and argue a balk call.
Well, you wonder what that does to Clemens' concentration. He's over there now along with Kaiser and the skipper.
I do not like balks, but it looked like, as you described it earlier, Joe, he did not have a discernible stop.
Again, we gave Morgan that full responsibility. Let's look at it again, Joe. You're the guy that's going to pick up the balk for us.
That is not a discernible stop, and I certainly understand that.
And I don't like story for you. You said you never could figure out.
I don't like the rule. I don't like it happening in this situation. Ron Hasse wouldn't be able to steal a base if he was in a sporting goods at night when it was closed. So it's almost seemingly unfair in a big game like this. But that's not a discernible stop.
Now the home plate umpire Hendry is over there visiting with Joe. Joe may wish he was driving that snowplow right now. Boy, that really what it does. See, Hasse at the plate is easy to double up. Doesn't run well, and of course that takes him out of any double play possibility, and of course puts Lansford in scoring position. Strange inning.
Well, what you see there is Tony La Russa trying to figure out how they let Joe Morgan come out and argue over a balk call when that's against the rules.
Boy, I tell you, that play at second looks pretty big right now, doesn't it? Parker would be on the base paths. You'd have runners at second and third. Well, you wonder now if Tony's arguing about if that constitutes a visit to the mound.
I think Tony's arguing because they let him come out and question a balk call. You cannot question a balk call. The rules say that is an umpire's judgment call, and you cannot question that.
Well, he did. Anyway, what we've got is 1 out, 2 runs in, a runner at second, and Hasse at the plate. Little number, and Boggs is over to get it, and going back into second is Lansford.
Be interesting to see what happens now. McGuire has been struggling against Clemens, struck out 4 or 5 or 6 times, but he's been catching up to the ball a little bit more each time. And as you say, Joe, Rogers might be losing a little bit off of that fastball.
Well, we'll find out right away if Rogers is going to go to the breaking ball and try to stay away from McGuire, or whether he goes after him with the fastball as he has done the first 2 times here in the ball game.
McGuire was 0 for 4 yesterday and struck out twice here tonight. Lansford still down at second with 2 out. Good cut. I think that's exactly what you're talking about, Reggie. He had a good feeling about himself on that swing.
Especially in situations like this. Mark knows the game is in balance, is what I call it. Tie score right now. He also knows he's 0 for 10. He also knows he struck out 6 times. So he knows he has to make an adjustment, cut down on the swing a little bit, and get the ball down. If he doesn't, he's going to continue to do the same thing. He's aware of that.
0-2. Pitch to McGuire, and it gets to the backstop. Lansford will go to third as Gedman chases it down. So now at third base with 2 down, Carney Lansford. That'll be scored, a wild pitch.
He's trying to go away with the fastball, and he holds on to it a little too long, and it gets away from Gedman.
2-2 to McGuire, and it's a full count now. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 out, and a runner at third. Left field, and it's in for a base hit, and Lansford has the go-ahead run. Now you got to admire McGuire. He hung in there tough.
He most certainly did. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Narrowed down the fastball. He knew he was going to get it. Been missing it all night long. That ball was above the belt, too. It may not have had as much mustard on it that time, Joe.
I think his fastball is lost a couple of miles per hour. And that gives just enough for these fastball hitters or good hitters to catch up with it.
So McGuire, after going 0 for 10 career-wise against Clemens, gets the job done and drives in the go-ahead run. 3-2. Oakland as Phillips looks at a call strike. Boy, the crowd has gotten even quieter, if that's possible. 1-1 to Phillips. Marty Barrett will end it. But the A's come roaring back to pick up 3 runs. The 2-run home runner by Canseco and the RBI single by Mark McGuire. We go now to the bottom of the 7th. 3-2 the A's.
Now that they've seen Roger Clemens twice in the order, these are the 3 guys that I think have the best chance of handling his fastball. Dave Henderson, Jose Canseco, and Dave Parker.
0-2 to Canseco. Fly ball high in the air to left field. Greenwell watching that one. It's gone off the screen. And his 2nd home run of this championship series, and we're all even at 2. 3-2. Left field, and it's in for a base hit, and Lansford has the go-ahead run.
I think his fastball is lost a couple of miles per hour. And that gives just enough for these fastball hitters or good hitters to catch up with it.
So McGuire, after going 0 for 10 career-wise against Clemens, gets the job done and drives in the go-ahead run. In the changeover in that inning, Dennis Eckersley left the dugout, went out to the bullpen, just standing by in case. As Jody Reed will lead things off, Gedman to follow, then the top of the order, Wade Boggs, Oakland 3, Boston 2, bottom of the 7th inning. Reed thus far in the ball game with a sacrifice and a fly out to center field. So Storm Davis, after falling behind in this ball game, now staked to a 1-run lead. He's given up 2 hits thus far.
I was talking to the bullpen coach Mike Paul early tonight. He said when Dennis Eckersley gets up and takes his jacket off and starts playing catch, you're going to see him in the game.
3-1 now. I mentioned to LaRussa, I said, would you use Eckersley again? And he says, we never know how much we'll use him until he throws in the outfield before the game. They see how his arm responds. Total pitches approaching 100. That's going to hook towards a left field foul line, and it's out of play.
Just foul, almost shades of Carlton Fisk, 1975.
75. That's when
you
Joe
remember
played
that,
it.
huh, Joe?
Whenever I walk in here, I start waving the ball foul. There's a shot. Looks like Carlton Fisk. He was looking for it to hit the foul pole.
Well, not quite as theatrical as Carlton was, dancing around, and boy, he comes back and gets him. Strikeout for Storm Davis. That's his 4th strikeout of the game, and that'll bring Gedman to the plate. Leadoff man erased here in the 7th.
Gedman, the catcher.
And now La Russa is coming out, and after that strikeout, it's kind of interesting that he has come out.
Not only has he come out, he's called for a relief pitcher.
Boy, that is kind of a surprise. It's going to be Cataray, the left-hander, Greg Cataray, who will come in. So Tony saw something he didn't like. One thing, he got to that 100 pitch mark. Maybe there was some type of a limit there. We'll be back during this pitching change. Oakland with a 3-2 lead. Back at Fenway Park, the left-hander Greg Cataray comes in relief of Davis, who went 6 1/3, gave up 2 runs, only 1 was earned, 2 hits, walked 5 and struck out 4, and that last strikeout was his last batter he faced as Gedman fouls it down.
Well, I think what Tony La Russa is doing here, he has Rich Gedman and Wade Boggs coming up. So he'll bring Cataray in, the left-hander, to try to get these 2 guys out. Now, if he needs to, he can go to Dennis Eckersley next inning if he has to, but he wants Cataray to try to get someone out right now.
Cataray this year has been very effective. He's 5-2, an ERA at 2.89, and 3 saves. He's been the middleman. High, and now the count goes to 2 balls and a strike. There's Eckersley, and we mentioned in the changeover on the last inning, he went dashing out to the bullpen just in case. Gedman, fly ball, right field. Canseco's going to have to hurry. That ball is out of here. A home run. Well, Cataray didn't exactly do what Tony La Russa had in mind.
Well, that defeats the lefty against lefty theory. And there was even some thought here in the booth that they may pinch hit for Rich Gedman.
So Gedman with the home run has tied it up.
It's a fastball up and over the middle of the plate, and he drives it into the seats in right field.
Gedman had 9 home runs during the regular season.
I think what it goes to show you is Tony La Russa believed that Storm Davis should only go 6 innings. That's what he's done all year long. He's got 33 starts. He's pitched a little over 200 innings. That averages out to around 6 innings. He said, hey, I'm going to stick with what I've been doing all year long. Won over 100 games that way. I'm going with it. He made the change.
1-2 now on Boggs, and the count now goes to 2-2. Well, Davis, if you're wondering, threw 102 pitches, and his last pitch was at 91 miles per hour. So he still had some pretty good velocity. Look at that, only 2 home runs in 71 2/3 innings. But Gedman reached him. Boggs swinging late. Lansford. There's 2 outs.
I think Wade Boggs is still trying to find that undershirt with base hits in it. He's changed again.
It's a slider, and Boggs hits it in the hole. Lansford makes a good play. And he throws Boggs out at first base.
So Boggs 0 for 3 in this game with a walk back in the first.
0 for 3 shirts or 0 for 3?
Well, we may have another pitching change now. Cataray is going to come out of the ball game. So Cataray gives up the home run, gets Boggs out. There's 2 down when we return as Gene Nelson will be coming in. And so the third pitcher of the game for the A's, Gene Nelson, 9-6. That ERA is a career low, 3.06. He comes in after Cataray goes a third of an inning.
For those of you who are wondering why Tony La Russa took Storm Davis out, who was pitching a very fine ball game, that's the way Tony La Russa manages. He wanted Greg Cataray to come in and get out Gedman and Wade Boggs. He wanted him to get those 2 guys out, and then he would have brought in Nelson to pitch to Barrett anyway. But that's the way he manages, and he's been very successful doing it all year long.
Won 104 ball games, 105 counting yesterday.
By the way, we've just been told that home run by Gedman is the first one he's hit off of a left-hander all year, and Nelson got Marty Barrett's attention. So that would go back to what your theory is. That Cadaret really against Gedman, percentage-wise, is in great shape because Gedman had never hit a home run against the left-hander this year. Boy, Barrett had to hit it, didn't he?
And one thing about percentages, Gary, over a whole season, percentages will hold up. But in a short season, a short series, percentages do not always work. You have to go on instinct more than percentages.
You were talking about that last night. Here's Barrett, third base, Lansford with another nice stab. Well, that'll get him out of the inning, but Gedman tied it up. So we're all even after 7 innings. Oakland 3, the Boston Red Sox 3. Gedman, fly ball, right field. Canseco's going to have to hurry. That ball is out of here. A home run. Bob Stanley in relief now of Clemens, who goes 7 innings, giving up 3 runs and 6 hits. Here is Paul Molitor with the inside pitch on Bob Stanley.
Bob Stanley is a ground ball pitcher who can be effective against right-handed hitters or left-handed hitters. Against right-handed hitters, he tries to get them out with sinker balls down and in. Against left-handed hitters, he also likes to throw that sinker, but he adds to that a palm ball that breaks down and away from the left-handed hitter. Now, as a hitter, the main thing you want to do is try to get him to throw the ball up in the strike zone.
Amazing story about Bob Stanley. He had a severe hand injury in the offseason. A lot of people felt he'd never pitch again. Started out the year throwing tennis balls, has come back after a severely severed hand, and now he'll face Walt Weiss. He'll be followed by Polona and Henderson.
You know, in facing Bob Stanley, which I've done a bunch of times, you've got to look for the ball down and not try to turn the ball, meaning don't try to pull it as a left-hand hitter. Try to hit that ball over in the left center field gap.
Walt Weiss trying to butt his way on. Boggs comes up throwing.
Boggs was playing in shallow, and he charges the ball, barehands it, makes a strong throw to first base, and he gets Weiss very easily.
Even though Boggs has not been productive at the plate, his defense in the series has been very good.
Great play. That's the consummate professional, staying on top of his game, even though he's not doing well in other areas.
Bologna now up. He has a base hit. That coming in the 4th inning. Called out on strikes and grounded out. Top of the 8th. We're all even at 3. 1-1, and he's going to try to bunt his way on, and Barrett charges, and he caught it, and I tell you, it looked like everyone was frozen on that play.
That's a perfect drag bunt. What he did is he noticed that Bob Stanley was falling off the wrong way. He was not covering his position. This ball should have been fielded if Stanley would have been in his position. It's a drag bunt, Joe, and
well, he starts forward first. As soon as he sees Bologna square around the bunt, he started forward because he thought he was going down the third baseline, and he was able to drag the ball by him. And Barrett, playing deep, could not make the play.
So that's Bologna's 2nd hit of the game, as Henderson will come up. Henderson, who singled and scored a run in the 7th, struck out and fly to right. And now Joe Morgan's going to make a trip to the mound.
I think Joe Morgan is aware of what I just said, that Bob Stanley cannot keep Luis Bologna from stealing second base. We may see a pitching change right here.
There's the guy who had 29 saves this year, Lee Smith. We're in Fenway Park, Game 2, the American League Championship Series. We're all even at 3. The top of the 8th inning. At first base, Bologna with 1 down. Stanley in relief of Roger Clemens, facing Dave Henderson.
Not only do I think Bologna will be able to get a good jump off of Stanley, but Stanley's ball moves down and in to the right-hander. It makes it very tough for Gedman to make a good throw.
He's not going, and he put that one under the chin of Henderson.
Bologna is not getting a very large lead at first base either.
He's not going again, and the pitch makes it 3-1.
I'll tell you, as a hitter, it makes your job an awful lot easier when you've got the big guy on deck behind you, and you know he cannot walk you. He's got to come in with a strike.
The big guy you're mentioning is Canseco. Canseco with a 2-run homer the last time up. He walked him. So Henderson goes down to first. Bologna goes to second, and Morgan goes to the mound. So Roger Clemens, who had gone 7 innings, striking out 8, giving up 3 runs and 6 hits, gave way to Stanley, and Stanley now is going to give way to Lee Smith. Well, Lee Smith is an intimidating guy. Is that an understatement?
6'5", 6'6". How big is he?
Well, it depends how much he's eaten during the day, I guess, but he is 6'6", 245 pounds. And you know, every time he comes to the mound and he puts that ball in his hand, it looks like a little golf ball.
I think the thing that makes him intimidating is the fact that he throws about 90 miles an hour.
But you know what's interesting, Joe? He does not pitch you tight. He does not come inside that much, Lee Smith. And that's an interesting thought when you see how big and strong and intimidating as he can be.
They had him clocked over 100, I think, in San Francisco a year or so ago, didn't they, Joe?
Well, I know he throws awfully hard. I'm not into 95 miles an hour or any of that. I just gauge a guy by how quick the ball gets to the plate. A lot of guys that have a slow motion and then release the ball quickly on you may not be throwing 95 miles an hour, but they look like they are. So the delivery to me is what's important, not necessarily the speed at which they're clocked.
That's what makes Eckersley so tough, with that big side-wheeling motion.
I think the one thing that Canseco has to do is look for all hard stuff from Lee Smith. He will not throw him a changeup. He'll throw a fastball and a hard slider, and there's not a big difference between the slider and the fastball.
Boy, did he get a cutaway there. Ooh, 1 strike. 94-mile-an-hour fastball.
These are the things you want to do. Make sure you get a good full cut. And right there, he had the fat part of the bat right on the baseball.
0-2 pitch. And Gedman can't locate the ball, and Bologna goes to third.
That's a big play.
Well, it's a good heads-up play by Bologna because he's aware that the ball gets away from Gedman right now, and Gedman doesn't exactly know where it is. And by the time he finds it, Bologna is already at third.
Earlier, Gedman cut him down going to third.
That ball should have been caught, Joe. It was only about a foot off the plate.
Pass ball, and runners now on the corners. 2-2. Right field, short right field. Evans coming in. He makes the catch. Bologna's tagging up. Here comes a play. No, he bluffed the move, and he goes back to third.
That's respect. Evans with a great arm, and that throw was way offline.
Well, Evans and Canseco, both right fielders in this series. You've got to be very cautious when you try to come home.
Jimmy Lefebvre making the decision. Evans gets in front of this ball. He catches the ball on his arm throwing side, sets himself, and makes a good throw. With a reputation like his, Joe, you think that if he sets himself up and gets ready, that holds a runner on?
Well, I think what happened there is you have Dave Parker coming to bat, a left-handed hitter against the right-handed pitching Lee Smith, and I'm sure La Russa and Lefebvre are aware that Dave Parker has faced Lee Smith many times, and they do not want the guy to get thrown out at the plate with a Dave Parker on deck. I think if they had any kind of chance of making it, they would have let him go. But with 2 outs, you try to score the guy if there's 2 down. But you do not want the guy to be thrown out the plate with Dave Parker in the on-deck circle.
Parker, first ball hitting, and Evans drifting under it. And Smith gets the job done. The A's leave 2 men stranded on the base paths as Smith is able to get out of the jam, and it's all even. Bottom of the 8th, game 2, the American League Championship Series. All even at 3. The Goodyear Blimp America from Houston with pilot Larry Chambers at the controls and cameraman Bill Sullivan providing all these pictures. And there were some really dramatic shots in the top half of the 8th in that confrontation between Smith and Canseco. Gene Nelson continues on the mound now for the A's, as Smith coming in facing 2 batters and getting both of them to fly to right. Evans, Greenwell, and Rice. Evans has walked and scored a run, popped up and fly to right. 2-1. Nelson pitched for La Russa in that year the White Sox were so successful, winning the American League West. There is Plunk, the right-hander, and Honeycutt, who got the win yesterday, the left-hander. 2-1, and Evans pops it up behind the plate. Hasse. And he made the grab with Lansford right there. 1 out. On ABC's Monday Night Football, as we'll take a look again at this particular play, you can see how a near collision occurred here. Hasse reaching up and taking it away from the third baseman. But 39. Monday night, Phil Simms and the Giants take on the Philadelphia Eagles. Action begins live at 9 o'clock Eastern, Monday here on ABC. The Giants tied for first place in the NFC East with the Phoenix Cardinals. First ball hitting. Greenwell, and Lansford will have this one. So very quickly 2 down, and Jim Rice will come up. Rice reached on an error, popped up and fly to left field. We're in the bottom of the 8th inning. There's the attendance. So what's that now? 58 consecutive games, 30,000 plus here in Fenway Park. They're going to add some luxury boxes and some seats as soon as this championship series or possibly the World Series is over. 1 ball on Rice. Big cut, and he almost got Burks on the on-deck circle. 1 ball, 1 strike.
You know, I don't like a swing like that. I think that with the count, 1 ball and no strikes, that Jimmy has to have a better swing at this pitch than he did right here. That is not a swing where you're driving the ball. He has been swinging the bat well in the month of September, hit 5 home runs in this month. The score is tied. He owes himself and his ball club a better effort than that.
Well, there's another half swing, but it gets into right field.
I'll take it.
So Rice with a base hit with 2 down, and Ellis Burks will come up. Now Phillips looks like, did he hurt himself? When he went lunging for that ball, he gets up, bends over. And now we're going to have a pinch runner. It's going to be Romine, Kevin Romine, who was a pinch runner yesterday coming into the ball game. That's what they did for Rice yesterday. Took him out after he walked.
Today's ball game, I think it's a better situation to do that because he represents the go-ahead run. And yesterday's ball game was still a 7th inning, and you wanted to, it was a tie ball game.
So Burks comes up. He singled to drive in a run back in the 6th inning. Then had a remarkable catch made against him by Henderson in center field, and then lined out to Lansford. So he's hit the ball well tonight.
He's hit the ball hard 3 times tonight.
Romine down at first. Very good speed, as you might suspect, if he comes in as a pinch runner. McGuire will hold him on. Ground ball to short. Weiss will go to the force, and they're out of the inning. So they waste the base hit by Jim Rice. We now have played 8 innings in game number 2, and we're even at 3. We've played 8 innings in game number 2. Oakland with a 1-game-to-none lead. And as you look here, it's one of those hitting charts they have where they chart where they hit the ball and get some tendencies on certain batters.
Well, that's Renee Latchman looking at it.
Carney Lansford to lead it off against Lee Smith. He'll be followed by Hasse and McGuire. Right center field, Evans, who's been a busy man out there. 1 down. He's made the last 3 putouts. Canseco and Parker in the 8th, and now here in the 9th on Lansford.
Oh, Joe, again, You had said earlier when a guy's throwing a ball well, he's got the ball popping up, fly balls to the little bit to their off field.
There's an interesting graphic. Oakland's been very effective after 8 innings.
The first 3 batters are very similar for Lee Smith as they were for Roger Clemens at the beginning. The first 2 guys, Dave Henderson and Jose Canseco, were overmatched, so to speak, and they hit the ball the other way. And the same thing is happening here with Lee Smith. The right-handed hitters are behind it a little bit.
Hasse brings one right back in her booth. 1 strike.
Relax, Gary, relax.
I tell you, I saw you play in the outfield. I can't relax.
You were closer to Joe.
Hasse straight away center field, and that's going to drop in for a base hit as Burks goes over, and Hasse makes the turn. So McGuire will come up with 1 down and a runner on.
He's gotten a lot of big hits for that ball club.
And we'll see here if Tony La Russa will make a move and pinch run for Ron Hasse.
Well, he has the advantage of having 3 catchers on his roster. As an end result, he could make a move, still have Steinbach and Matt Sinatro, who he could come in to do the catching for him. But Hasse evidently is going to remain there.
And it's going to be very tough for Ron Hasse to score from first base on a ball in the gap because his knees are bothering him and he doesn't run too well.
McGuire, as we mentioned, singling the last time to drive in a run, but he struck out the other 2 times. That was a 94-mile-an-hour fastball.
Also can see why Lee Smith is so tough with that big sidearm motion, throwing so hard. 6'6". Makes the batter hold up, flinch just a little bit, and that's enough to get the ball by you.
Left center field, Burks over there, and he's got it. 2 out. That ball hit pretty hard.
He left that ball out over the plate.
So Tony Phillips, who has a base hit, a double back in the 6th inning, will come up.
Eckersley's up right now throwing, and Mike Paul told me before the ball game when he's up 99% of the time you're going to see him.
No wasted energy.
Well, I don't believe they'll bring him in unless the A's score a run here. And I think they got him up to get him loose in case the A's scored a quick run. He would come in to pitch the bottom of the 9th inning.
2-2 and missed inside, and it's full at 3-2. Gedman thought he had him.
Well, we get a look at the pitch here. It's a hard fastball, but it's off the plate inside.
So Smith now has a full count, 2 down, and the runner Hasse, slow at all, will get a break on this one. Sore knees, and what was it, slow? That combination. He's going, and it's lined to right field for a base hit. Hasse makes the turn. He's on his way to third, and the runner's at the corners now with 2 down. Phillips really battled on that one and got the job done, and here comes Weiss. He doubled in the 6th on a full count off of Clemens and comes back and does it here on the 9th inning against Lee Smith.
Well, I think the important thing here is that Lee Smith went to 3-2 before he gave up the base hit. That allowed Hasse to get around to third base, where now he'll be able to score on a single. If Hasse would have had to stop at second base, he probably would have a tough time scoring on a routine single.
I'm sure we'd have saw a pinch runner then, Joe.
2 out now. Weiss at the plate. Foul ball, left field line. Top half of the 9th inning. It's all even at 3. 9 hits for the A's, 4 for the Red Sox. Both teams have committed 1 error.
Oakland stays very tough in these tight ball games. They just seem to figure out some way to win a ball game.
Good teams always do, Reggie.
Weiss, left field, and that one's going to make it into the stands.
You know, I remember meeting Walt Weiss a couple of years ago in spring training, and I just remember that the fact that I felt as though that because he was from New York, that he would socially adjust to the major leagues a lot easier. He was just comfortable around big league people. Consequently, he's had a great year and adjusted very well.
Not only that, he's a Tar Heel from the University of North Carolina. It is an all-even game in the top half of the 9th inning. 2 down, runners at first and third. Weiss facing Lee Smith. 0-2 the count. Center field, and hustling in is Burks. He cannot get it. Hasse will score the go-ahead run as runners now at first and second. For a moment, it looked like Burks might get to that. But Weiss got it just in front of him with an RBI single as Hasse, despite those bad knees and slow running, scores the go-ahead run.
It's a fastball up and out over the plate, and Weiss is a pretty good fastball hitter, and he lines it into center field. Burks makes a good attempt to make the catch, but as you can see, the ball gets to the ground a little before he can get there. It's a nice play to keep the ball from bouncing over his head.
That's exactly right, Joe. That got by him. Look out. Down at second now is Phillips. Weiss at first, and Bologna at the plate swings through that one.
This Oakland ball club just never ceases to amaze me. They have continued to play well all year long through all types of situations and have gotten help up and down the lineup. The big guy hits home runs, and the other ball players chip in with those clutch performances. A base hit from Hasse, a clutch RBI from Waller Weiss.
Call strike on the outside. You mentioned Weiss. Weiss, during the regular season, hit the Red Sox at a .389 clip. And that was a very clutch base hit to center field. It right now has given the Red Sox, I should say the A's, a 4-3 lead. And he struck him out. But the Oakland A's on a base hit by Hasse, a base hit by Phillips, and the RBI single by Weiss take the lead. Bottom half of the ninth inning. Oakland trying to go up 2-0 in this potential seven-game American League Championship Series, a best-of-4, and they've made some changes. Tony Phillips goes from second base to left field, and Mike Gallego now inherits second base. And then the third change, the ace, Dennis Eckersley, comes in. Yesterday, he pitched 2 innings and struck out 3, picking up the save in the ball game. 45 saves in the regular season of play. One off for the major league record. So they leave Hasse in to catch him, and as Tony La Russa put it, they just think alike. Almost can hang out the sign when Eckersley goes into the windup. It'll be Benzinger, possibly Reed, he's standing by, and then Getman. Those are the guys scheduled. Strike call.
The first 3 hitters for the Red Sox know the job that's in front of them.
Fouled straight back. 2 strikes.
Facing Dennis Eckersley, 45 saves. He shut them down yesterday. They know that if they lose this ball game, they're down 0-2. Their chances get slimmer and slimmer and slimmer.
2 strikes on Benzinger, and Weiss, who had that RBI that gave him the lead, comes up with a defensive play. Well, also add to the fact that the Red Sox did not win a game this year in the Coliseum. 0 for 6. And let's see, Reed's going to be called back. We're going to have a pinch hitter. It's going to be Larry Parrish coming on.
Got to see him yesterday, so I don't know if that'll help him, but at least this will be a second at bat.
I think we're going to look at a little different Dennis Eckersley today than we did yesterday. He's going to use the breaking ball a little more, which he did with Benzinger there. Yesterday, he went almost exclusively with the fastball, moving it in and out, up and down. And I think he'll mix in a couple of breaking balls to Larry Parrish in this at bat.
He's looking for that one pitch out over the plate that he can get the fat part of the bat on.
Two balls, 1 strike. A lot of people have said that Eckersley has not been as effective this year if he pitches back-to-back, day-to-day. That one is nubbed off the end, may have broken his bat and did.
May have broken it.
Now you can hear it all the way up around. He'll get a new one, and the count goes to 2-2.
That's what you call getting deep in his pitching.
This time he reaches out, pops it up, and Gallego, who's come in defensively, will put it away. And they're 1 out away from going 2-0 in this series.
And that's perfect pitching from Dennis Eckersley there. He throws a fastball in on his hands. He gets him conscious of the fact that he has to protect the inside, and then he throws him a slider on the outside corner, and all he can do is reach for it.
He was protecting his hands again, falling away from from the plate. He just was able to reach out and loop that ball to Mike Gallego.
Gedman with a home run back in the 7th inning. 1 for 3, and he fouls it back.
This guy, Rich Gedman, has caused a few people some nightmares. In 1986, he was the guy they brought in a left-hander to face, hit him. We wound up losing the ball game after Henderson hits the home run.
Eckersley with 1 strike on Gedman. He steps out.
Again, going with the percentages, trying to bring in a lefty. Bingo, he gets hit. Of all things to happen.
Fly ball, left field. Going back is Phillips on the warning track, and the Oakland A's take a 2-0 lead in this American League Championship Series. They'll head to the Coliseum and pick up the action on Saturday. I'm sure thinking as they go out there that they swept the Red Sox in the regular season 6-0. So Tony La Russa goes to Eckersley, who gets the job done for 2 games in a row. And I thought you said it very well, Reggie. These guys just find a way to win.
There you see the reaction of the Oakland A's as they see the fly ball go out to left field. And when Tony Phillips makes the catch, they know they're up 2-0.
Bob Welch will start in game 3, and he is 12-4 this year in the Coliseum, and it'll be Mike Boddicker for the Red Sox.
That is why they held him back, because he is very successful over there.
So Nelson, the winning pitcher, Smith, the losing pitcher, and you got to give a lot of credit to Smith. He really battled in the 8th inning, coming in relief and getting both Canseco and Parker out of there, but then it was the bottom half of the order that caused the damage. Hasse along with Phillips and Walt Weiss. Weiss with the game-winning RBI. So the save goes to Eckersley. He now has 2 saves in 2 games. Canseco with his 2nd home run, a 2-run shot, and Gedman parked 1 in the 7th inning. Well, this Oakland ball club is playing mighty, mighty well. And again, the Red Sox, they did erupt. They did get some runs. They did get some hitting that eventually got them rolling. So once again, the final score is Oakland 4, Boston 3. Tomorrow on ABC Sports, the Los Angeles Dodgers battle the New York Mets in game 3 of the National League Championship Series. Action begins live at 8 o'clock Eastern tomorrow on ABC Sports. For George Morgan and Reggie Jackson and our statistician George Hill, we hope you've enjoyed this broadcast. Stay tuned now for ABC News Nightline, following your late local news over most of these ABC stations. Tonight's topic, the rejection of the Pinochet dictatorship in Chile. Clip provided by Goodyear Tire and Rubber Company.